to the channel. I'm Ricky Myers. Grab a coffee. Don't cost nothing. Grab a beer. Grab a bourbon. Well, I'll tell you what. Today, the question of the day is, do all roads lead to my favorite author, Jack Carr? Well, let's see. If you're not familiar with the name, maybe you've heard of the Amazon series, The Terminal List, or another series in that same universe, Dark Wolf. If not, the short version is that Jack was a Navy SEAL sniper. He retired after 20 years back in 2018 or so and published his first book, The Terminal List. He now has 8 books out with 2 more coming out this year. Jack writes action thriller fiction that follows in the footprints of the all-time greats in the genre. Writers like David Morrell, Frederick Forsyth, Robert Ludlum, Nelson DeMille, Tom Clancy, Stephen Hunter, Vince Flynn, and Brad Thor. So let's dive in. January 15th, you've got to start with, right there at the bottom, you got to start with the man himself, Ronnie Van Zant. Ronnie Van Zant was born, this is the debut album from 1973. Ronnie Van Zant was born on January 15th, 1948. And he's a Southern poet, he's a Southern soul, he is definitely a Southern rocker, and you can't really discuss or talk about Southern rock without talking about Lynyrd Skynyrd. Lynyrd Skynyrd, these guys are at the top of the pyramid for Southern rock. So how is Ronnie Van Zant connected to Jack Carr? The connection comes from the Amazon series Dark Wolf, where a kick-ass version of Simple Man plays in the background of the opening credits for each episode. It's not the version recorded by Skynyrd, but it's a damn good version, and the song was written by Ronnie. If you haven't seen Dark Wolf with Taylor Kitsch, Chris Pratt, and Tom Hopper, all I can say is buckle up. Those boys deal in lead. Speaking of authors, 24 years ago today, on January 15th, 2002, right on the heels of 9/11 and the origins of the global war on terror, Brad Thor debuted on the scene with his first book, The Lions of Lucerne. This book introduced the world to United States Secret Service Special Agent Scott Harbath. So guys, this one right here is my hardcover first printing of The Lions of Lucerne by Brad Thor. And let me show you something here. Check this out. It's a signed copy by Mr. Thor himself. So this is my first printing. That's the back. Sorry, you get all that glare. Have a Brodart protective cover on here. So you get that. I also have a first printing of the paperback. So if you're looking for the paperback to collect for Brad Thor's The Lions of Lucerne, you want the artwork that's on this one. And back looks like that. I also have a second one just because I like the different artwork. But check out the lion in white down at the bottom. So back looks like that. So those are my personal copies, the 3 copies I own of The Lions of Lucerne. As I said earlier today in a community post on the channel, I cannot believe that this book in particular has not been made into either a movie or as a cable streaming series. I mean, it's just crazy why that has not happened. And I guess Maverick would say it's one of life's great mysteries. Jack Carr's connection to Brad Thor is that Brad accepted a phone call from Jack while he was still serving in the SEALs. He was about to retire. Brad gave Jack some writing advice on when to know that his book was good enough to submit to a publisher. Brad went the extra step of telling Jack that he could submit his book to Brad's publisher, Emily Bessler. The rest is history, and Jack is still with Emily Bessler Books today, as is Brad. Now, one thing that I would like to do a better job at, or at least better than I did on the golden age of hard rock and the Manbury, is when I get new items in my collection, whether it's movies, music, or books, I'd like to let you know about it because these things just they just keep coming in, they pile up, and then by the time I get around to making a video about them, it no longer seems timely. So I purchased The Handler by MP Woodward back in December, at the end of December. I was starting to get a little bit worried. It still hadn't shown up. And then yesterday, out of the blue, bam, it gets delivered. So here is my first printing of The Handler by MP Woodward. This is the author's first book, and it was published in 2022. Guess it'd be that way. Anyway, the connection to Jack Carr is as follows. Recently on Jack's YouTube channel, he announced that for his 9th book, it was going to be a book that was co-written with a collaborator. And what Jack said was when he set out to find somebody to work with, he read The Handler and he liked it so much that this is the guy. So the next book that comes out on May 26th or May 12th, 2026 is going to be called The Fourth Option, and it's going to be co-written with MP Woodward. So, of course, I had to do my homework, went out, purchased a copy. I've not read anything by MP Woodward before, so this will be my first book by him. And at some point, I'll make a video and let you know what my thoughts are on this, probably as we get closer to the release of The Fourth Option in May. But anyway, I've pre-ordered mine already off of Amazon and looking forward to receiving that. So yes, it's January 15th, and in fact, all roads do lead to Jack Carr. From Ronnie Van Zant and Simple Man to Brad Thor, The Lions of Lucerne, and Emily Bessler Books, to MP Woodward and The Handler, and of course, Jack Carr and the upcoming Fourth Option. Guys, if you have any thoughts on any or all of the above, go ahead and drop them in the comments. You know I read everything and I respond to everything, so I'd be interested in seeing what you think about any and all of the things that I spoke about today. And until next time, keep rocking.